So back to real life here. This is our Math 364. This is your trig. So time for us to, just like last time, course information is where all the important stuff is. The really important stuff, you know, the stuff about me is right here. Phone number, email address in case you forgot it. My schedule in case you need to get in touch with me outside of class. Let's pull that up just for the fun of it. I have a little bit more of an open schedule this year. Last semester, I was pretty full in the afternoons. I had no breaks. You can see this semester I actually do have some holes in the schedule, so there are some times you can actually come in and see me. Most notably, usually in this room, yeah. But most notably 10:30 to 11:20, 4 days a week, I'll be in this room with office hours.
We won't be for Friday.
You get your Fridays off?
Yeah.
Cool, good for you.
Hopefully that's all the snow days.
Yeah.
No, the snow days only have class like you.
Yeah, if it's too snowy to go out and do anything, you'd rather come to school.
You have night classes on Wednesday?
My night class is actually on Tuesday. No, it's Wednesday this semester, yeah. It's usually Tuesdays, but it's every semester. Last semester it was Tuesdays, but it's a little bit better this semester because I have I think a 3-hour break before that class. Last semester in the fall, I had classes starting at 12:30, and I literally had nothing more than the 10 minutes in between classes between 12:30 and 8:30 at night. So 8 hours right through. It was Thursday morning that I was crabby, bro.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's actually not that bad once you get used to it. It's just that first couple of weeks when you're not used to talking that much. Like in the last couple of weeks, you know, the most talking I've done is to myself. So today is going to be a little weird actually having to talk out loud.
I'm kind of wondering why
And
they
actually-
give us lunch at 8:30 on Wednesday.
I don't know. We don't get a lunch break on Wednesday. It's like breakfast.
We're not really good about that for scheduling breaks for students.
It's just because you had too much input.
They don't give me any input on scheduling anymore.
I know.
Okay, so
I
This
haven't
is the-
tried that yet.
this is our class information again. 360 Math 364. Obviously, you guys know where you're at. You're here, so we don't need to go through all that. This class covers ratio and proportion is the first thing we start out with. Basic measurements and stuff we'll review a little bit at the beginning here. Right triangle trig, which is the basic trigonometry that most of you have probably seen before. Then we'll talk about oblique triangle trig, which is where you don't have a right triangle and there's some special rules and stuff that we can use. A lot more you can do with them than you would think. Then we talk about just our regular geometry concepts and stuff like that. We do a little 1-week unit here on formulas, cutting speeds and feed rates and stuff like that, just because it's something that we found in the past that you kind of need to review. Something you see it in the shop, but most of the time you don't usually get it. If we get there and you guys have it down, we'll just skim through it and take the quiz and get over with it. And just like last time, your grading is 80% based on your tests and your quizzes. I believe there are 5 unit tests in here. One of them is a little bit smaller because we only take like 4 days on it. And that's the cutting speeds, feed rates, and spur gears. So that's only a 40-point test instead of a 100-point test. Then, as always, plan on having about 1 quiz a week, maybe a little bit more. Usually the quizzes are about every 3 hours of class. So brace yourself for them. Same grades, the other 20% again, homework and attendance. So come to class, don't upset me. And then, of course, don't cheat, don't steal, don't lie, don't use the internet for bad things. We don't have to discipline you. And there's our 5 units. This last one down here on compound angles talks about if you have surfaces that are angled in 2 directions, How do you deal with it? We usually get to that unit, but sometimes if we get to the end of unit 4 and you're struggling with the trig, I actually have an alternative unit that I'll insert in there for a couple of weeks on review of more complex applications with trigonometry. Depends on how you guys are doing when we get there. If you guys are understanding it well, we'll move right into the compound angles. If not, we'll do that little mini unit in there. If we don't have to do that little mini unit, we go into the compound angles, and then we have a little bit of time left over that last week of class. Rather than having a cumulative final exam like we did last semester, I usually try to squeeze in 4 or 5 days of statistical process control, quality control. Just because you guys don't have any statistics in your course anymore, so to have a little bit of basic statistics so you understand what those SPC charts, those run charts and control charts mean. As an operator, you're probably never going to see them, but if you ever want to move up into a supervisory or management position, you'll need to understand them. And one of the big things, it was huge in the late 90s and kind of slipped out of favor about 12 years ago, was quality control in manufacturing. And about the time that it slipped out of favor and companies stopped spending as much money on it, you started to see quality nosedive. So it's coming back now. Companies are realizing that, hey, sometimes cutting expenses by laying off our quality control people is more expensive in the long run. The way to really save money is to be more efficient in how we use our materials and have less scrap and have less waste and stuff like that. There is, basically my point is there are 5 units listed here, but there is a 6th unit. Whether it gets slipped in before the compound angles and it's more complex trig applications, or if it's after that of the SPC, there is a 6th unit that we'll be looking at, like a mini unit that we'll be looking at some point. It all depends on how you guys are doing and what you guys need. Like the SPC, I could go on for 4 weeks if we have that much time at the end of the semester. Try not to look so excited about it. It's okay.
Don't worry, I'm not.
Don't worry, it won't hurt me a bit. Okay, so that's basically, and again, just like last time, all your class recordings will be on this page, the course information button. It'll just be at the bottom of the page here as we get our recordings posted. Any questions? Okay. Well, you guys know the drill. So I'm going to end this recording so that the syllabus is on a separate recording. Come on, end.